What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's time for the weekly rotation, and it just dawned on me a couple of things. One, I'm wearing blue, and most of this rotation ended up being blue fragrances. What can I say? When fall rolls around, spring and fall, that's when I wear mostly blue fragrances. Blue, iris, mainly. That's when my florals get pulled out, and the spices and tobaccos, and all the stuff that most people wear during the season. But iris and blues, my two favorites. It's not scorching hot outside because I got sweeter blues, more dense woodsy blues, stuff like that. And I didn't realize it till I was looking at what I was going to put in the thumbnail, because I did make the thumbnail. I was like, I got a lot of blue. This is very much a fall blue rotation. So that's what we're running with. Apparently that was an unintentional theme, and we got some good ones. I got one that's pretty new to the collection that I've only worn like twice. One that's two that are brand new to the collection. Another couple that are recent pickups. Like there's some blue variety in here, basically. So it's week number 254. We're going to dive into these. Stay tuned. Starting off the blue rotation on Sunday, this line is definitely, especially the main line, the main three concentrations are most certainly blue fragrances. In my mind, we're talking about Eros, but specifically Eros Parfum from Versace. So this one's a bit more ambery and woodsy, a little warmer than the other two versions. Very redundant. The EDT, the EDP, and the Parfum are redundant. You don't need all of them, but you know, in certain instances, I guess it makes sense. The only one I don't have is the EDT, because it just smells so similar to the EDP. I never deemed it necessary. But with this one, surprisingly, it's a little more chemically synthetic up top, because I find this one's got more ambroxan than the other two versions. So at first, a little bit more scratchy, if you will, but it smooths out pretty quickly. You still have that minty, kind of sage smelling, apple, aromatic, vanilla, like all those core notes and sweet aromatic nuances of Eros are still ever so present. Again, hence the high level redundancy among the EDT, EDP, and Parfum. But again, this one's more ambery and woodsy overall. It's a warmer fragrance, a little bit smoother as it dries. Still loud, long lasting. You can't go wrong if you're looking for performance. You know, Eros has got you covered. Eros Flame and Eros Energy are kind of their own beasts. But if you never tried the Parfum, perhaps try. A tester. This one and the EDP have are testers, and they say stuff like this on the side. If you get an opportunity and you don't have another version of Eros, maybe it's your first time dipping your toe into it, do your due diligence, go to a department store, maybe check them out, see which one you like, because you don't need more than one. If you want added freshness to this one, go with the EDP. If you want even more freshness than that, go with the EDT. That's kind of the easiest way, I think. You can kind of judge that one. All-time great compliment getting DNA. The wife definitely enjoys this one as well. You can't go wrong with Eros. During the day on Sunday, I went with Versace's Eros Parfum. Then we got the shower. It was time to shave. And this has been my go-to. For a while there, my Dior Sauvage Aftershave Splash was my go-to. But lately, it's been Zaharoff Signature Citrine. Here is the splash. And here is the grooming balm. It's more of a lotion, if you will. And the lotion is so strong that I don't bother spraying the fragrance. This is one of those rare instances where one of the products has so much like thickness to the aroma and lasting power, and it's actually pretty loud. It's actually a strong smell that I don't need much of it. This is some good stuff. If any of you like Citrine, got quite the dent in there. I would highly encourage you, and you don't need much. I just use it so often. God, it smells so good. The greens are enhanced for the profile. George had Claude rework it for these ancillary products, so it's a little bit different from this. This is more top note. This is more heart. The shave soap's more of the base, the warm, resinous, ambery type of feel. So just absolutely stunning for those of you that have Citrine and enjoy Citrine. This is the main product I would suggest. Abso-freaking-lutely. So, yeah, out the shower, had a shave with Signature Citrine. Moving into Monday. Now, I did a double up here. So, recently, I was, about 2 to 3 weeks ago, I was on Michael's channel. Those of you who don't know who I'm talking about when I say that, Fragrance Fraternity, longtime subscriber, channel member, and fellow content creator here on YouTube. And he was diving into Etat Libre. Lovely house. A lot of people like to play around with some of the scents they have. They have some crazy challenging stuff. They have some artistic storytelling stuff. And they have some approachable, super easy to wear stuff. And that's what we're talking about here with Remarkable People. A very beloved scent profile from them, which I do kind of consider on the bluer side of things. Juicy grapefruit, it's aromatic, has this fizzy champagne note. There's some, beautiful woods to it. This is another one that's more on the woody side of blue, the blue genre overall. Highly approachable, super enjoyable, perfectly unisex. I don't find it leans to either side. I think it rides the fence line perfectly of masculine and feminine. Quality here is pretty good. It's not over the top synthetic. You have some synthetic stuff, don't get me wrong. Like Ghost in the Shell is just a collection of molecules to make a molecule fragrance. It all depends on what you're looking for. But ELDO, as people like to say, Etat Libre, they have a lot of great offerings that are worth checking out. And this, one of their most approachable, one of their easiest to wear. This and You or Someone Like You, which is more of a green scent. Super dip your toe, easy to check out fragrances. And this, smells really good. This one's got a good probability of getting you a compliment. It's super enjoyable for you as the wearer. So if you're looking to dive into the house, this is one of the safer plays. Definitely some really good stuff. And it was nice to revisit because it has been a little while. So during the day and out the shower on Monday, Remarkable People from Etat Libre. Moving into Tuesday, we have quite the interesting double whammy. Dare I say, yeah, it's the best day of the week because when you factor in both fragrances that I wore, because I always pick what was my best smelling day of the week. It's definitely this. And we started things off with Valentino Uomo, Born in Roma Yellow Dream. What a long name. Love the high vis yellow hit. Definitely one of my favorite colors. And this is a very fruity, somewhat spicy, woodsy fragrance. Very sweet. On the sweeter side of blue, very much a blue fragrance though. High mass appeal stuff right here. High compliment factor. Can be redundant in people's collections, not because it smells exactly like a bunch of other things. It'll remind you of a few, but nothing where I would say, oh, this is this. They were exactly going for this fragrance. But it'll remind you of a family of fragrances, these fruity, woodsy blues. They do have several that are like that, the sweeter side of blue. Still with a nice soft powdery touch, and like I said, a very present woody dominance as it dries down. This is easy to like. Super enjoyable. I don't think it's their best fragrance, but it's damn sure not their worst fragrance in this line. Again, I keep pulling this cap to sniff it. It is kind of a highly addictive scent profile. It's very nice to smell, for lack of a better term. Very nice to smell with some pretty good performance. I would say it fits into that 6 to 8 hour in longevity range for me personally, which, it's kind of the sweet spot. If I can get that from any fragrance, I'm a happy camper. And not, room-filling beast kind of stuff, but present. Hour and a half, pretty strong up front. Really good stuff. Definitely worth checking out. Not their most interesting fragrance, but one of their most easy to wear is Yellow Dream from Valentino. Then we got the shower. This has been arguably my favorite Paris Corner fragrance I got this year. It's in the vein of a Blue Moon Ginger from by Kilian. It is Moscow Mule. First and foremost, love the bottle, but frosted with baby blue juice, it just looks cool. But it smells so damn good. Juicy, fresh citrus. It's this spiced green element, ginger, mint, some other green notes. I want to say it's like cypress or something like that. A little fresh and ozonic. The citrus is very juicy and watery. This is just a beautiful, refreshing fragrance. A little bit of depth to it. Nothing super complex that's going to nuance over and over and has different, multifaceted fragrance. It's nothing crazy like that. It just smells really good and it's affordable. That's the main boxes to check right there. I know performance is a big one for people at average. 5-6 hour range-ish for the most part. It's kind of the safe range it falls into for me. Again, nothing crazy, but nothing I would call weak. Not even close, but also not a beast. Really bright. Really, it's an uplifting, invigorating fragrance. Brings vibrance, if you will. It's a very vibrant type of energizer. Really mood boosting, if you will. A lot of ways to describe this fragrance. Can you tell I enjoy it? Definitely good stuff. Out the shower, Paris Corners, Moscow Mule. Moving into Wednesday, this brand new release from Tumi. It is very good. It is indeed blue, just like the bottle would indicate. It is Tumi's Dusk. Look at that bottle. Similar style to 19 Degree, but with this metallic, almost iridescent blue. Bottle's gorgeous. The best looking bottle, hands down. It doesn't have that rubberized texture like the black bottle of 19 Degree. I still think 19 Degree is their best fragrance, but I think this is their second best fragrance. It's fruity. It's powdery. It's a little spiced. It's a very woody fragrance. A lot of wood dominance as this one settles in. So easy to like. Not the aquatic type. I believe there is a little bit of watery notes in here. I just don't remember specifically, but I don't find it's all that aquatic. But it's a sweet citrus more so than a sweet, like a passion fruit, pineapple, apple kind of thing. It's more of a sweeter citrus. Again, I get powdery, clean musk. That's another thing I wanted to mention. Very clean musk dominant. Woods and musk is the biggest part of this fragrance as it settles down. It's highly versatile. It's super easy to like. It's the crowd-pleasing type. It checks all the boxes of what would make it fall into the blue genre, not just the color of the bottle. Sometimes you can get a blue bottle and it's far from a blue fragrance. That stuff does happen. So don't let the color of the bottle ever be the indicator for what the profile is going to be. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. This I would highly encourage getting a sample of. Again, I put this above stuff like Continuum. I know a lot of people like Unwind and Awake and Awaken and all these different fragrances, and that's great. They got some good stuff. They really do. I have all of their releases, but the three that matter to me would be Continuum, this, and 19 Degree. If you have one of those three or all of those three, I think you're doing pretty good with your fragrance wardrobe. So definitely worth a sample in my opinion. The newest release from Tumi, it's I was about to say 19 Degree, Tumi Dusk. Really, really good one, seriously. And this one was gifted to me by my dear friend Chad, A Gentleman's Journey, longtime reviewer here on YouTube, my favorite Canadian of all time. To any of my Canadian friends, sorry. Reality is reality. Chad's my guy. When he came down to Florida to visit family, I drove over to where he was at, spent some time with him, and he came bearing gifts. He hooked me up with a few cheapies because we are the cheapie kings, if you will, and at least that's what he says. Azzaro, Solarissimo, Levanzo. It is green like the bottle indicates. Doesn't fit exactly the way the theme of the week worked. Majority this week were definitely blue. This one's on the greener side. It matches, like I just mentioned. The bottle's a good indicator sometimes, not all the time. It's a good indicator this time. Juicy citrus, grassy green. Juicy citrus, grassy green. That's what I get from this one. It's a beautiful fragrance. It's got a little bit of zest to it without being like some peppered, spicy tone. It's more of the greens that give it that zest. What a great fragrance. Still can't believe he hooked me up with some random stuff. I'm a big fan of Azzaro. Azzaro's a great house. It's got a lot of really good options. Most of them tend to get pretty cheap. I haven't tried the other two. I believe there's two others in this line. This one in particular, though, really, really good green, fresh fragrance. I would highly recommend it. If you see it for a good price and you're throwing a few things in the cart, I would say it's on the blind buy safe side of things. I'm not encouraging the blind buy, but stuff like this, if you're looking for a nice green citrus fragrance and you can see it for $40 or less, which I think is kind of going rate, and you're already buying some other things and you were intrigued by it, I can tell you firsthand, not a bad fragrance. Definitely not. It doesn't remind me of a bunch of other things either. Again, it's not something super unique, but as you can see, I keep sniffing it. It smells incredible. So thanks to Chad, I have a bottle and I'm able to enjoy it out the shower. Azzaro Levanzo. Moving into Thursday, I forgot exactly what we were doing that made me wear this. I forgot. The one distinctive thing I remember was my wife telling me how ridiculously strong it was, and I was wearing 6 sprays, like I normally do, 5 to 7. And so it just continues to mature and age like a fine wine and macerate and get stronger. Evening Mystique. My most recent collaboration with Zaharoff, a beautiful resinous, smoky, earthy green, iris-based fragrance. A follow-up to my first fragrance, Business Over Pleasure, which was a more office-safe, office-friendly based iris fragrance. You know, for a stretch there, I was like, nah, Business Over Pleasure is still my favorite of the two, and then I sprayed this one again recently. God, this is the better fragrance. I know people love business over pleasure, and I'm appreciative of that. People tell me all the time. It's awesome, but oh, man. This is a masterpiece. I don't care what anybody says. It's not a biased thing. It's 100% what I envisioned. Claude is a genius. I love working with Claude Deer. Shout outs to my main man, Claude Deer. And thank you, George, if you happen to see this, for the opportunity to do these things, because man, it just gets better every time I smell it. The last time I wore this was the night of my bodybuilding competition in June, and wore it out that evening after the show. Special event requires a special fragrance, right? So herbal, green tones at the top, bright and aromatic, powdery. Definitely has a beautiful Florentine iris tone with some incense and some olibanum. Give it this nice smoky resinous feel. It's ambery. You have a nice semi-earthy, woodsy vetiver as it dries down. This is just so good. A little bit of musk from the Orchinox note that's in here. It's rich. It's gotten so much deeper as it continues to macerate. For those of you that have it, I'm sure you understand, because the bottles are the same age. There was only one batch. And for those of you that didn't get an opportunity to try it, it's unfortunate, but when we do these from time to time, this was the second time we did a Zed Creator project. There is a beginning and an end, and when they're gone kind of thing. But yeah, it's always nice to revisit. I was smelling incredible. Definitely not a blue fragrance. This is one of the few of the week that does not fall into the blue fragrance category, whereas Business Over Pleasure, I got a blue cap on that one for a reason. It's more of a blue iris fragrance, because there are blue genre iris fragrances for sure, and Business Over Pleasure is. This, not so much. This is more of an amber fragrance than anything else, an amber floral, if you will. Beautiful stuff. It's Evening Mystique from myself and Zaharoff. Moving into Friday, this was a very citrus day. So the daytime fragrance I would consider to fall in the blue category. It's a citrus fruity, woody fragrance. Very much more dominant in the woody facet, the Akigala wood that it's featured around. Very, very dominant in this fragrance. It is New Notes Parfums. This is Akigala Mandarino, a new fragrance that I recently got. And yeah, super juicy mandarin orange meets passion fruit. Think family of God of Fire, Lumari Porthole, things like that. It doesn't smell identical to them, but it's that passion fruit that kind of ties them all together. Very heavy on the Akigala. Like the two notes they list in the name, very dominant. And since they put Akigala first, yeah, I would say the Akigala wood is the most dominant note you're going to get here. It's a very interesting synthetic wood note. It's on the smoother, somewhat aquatic side of things. I get a little bit of an aquatic nuance. Could be other notes supporting it. It's almost like a fresh water crashing against a log kind of thing, as weird as that is. And it's like relatively early. It kind of transitions into that. This is super nice. Not a blind buy safe fragrance because it's a very expensive niche fragrance, but definitely worth sampling if you want to go down the path of something very citrus, fruity, watery woods kind of thing. With some really good staying power. It's a Parfum as well. This is good stuff. I would consider it more in the range of the woody dominant blue fragrances, because it's like you'll see the notes and you'll smell the opening and you're like, oh, is that really blue? Because a lot of citruses and fruits and everything. It's more of a freshie, and then it transitions rather quickly into that Akigala wood that overtakes it, and it's very well done. It's a beautiful smell. It really is. This is some good stuff. Highly versatile fragrance. During the day, New Notes Parfums, Akigala Mandarino. And then I got the shower. Recently got this one. Fragrance Buy had sent it my way. It's from Paris Corner. This is just Bergamot. I wouldn't consider this blue, but this is all about the citruses and fresh greens. Beautiful, zesty, zingy type of fragrance. I wore it a couple sprays to the gym. This was the particular day that I did that unboxing fragrance haul video. Wore some sprays to the gym that morning, and then when I got the shower that evening, I sprayed it on again because it's just enjoyable. Not winning any performance awards here. I would consider the projection here on the average to below average side. Maybe it's nose fatigue. It was just this one day that I wore the fragrance, but I didn't notice myself getting whiffs of it. So I would say its power is on the weaker side, but it is very fresh and it does smell really good. Again, not winning any performance awards. I didn't really clock the longevity on it. I didn't really pay it no mind because it really wasn't reminding me it was there. So maybe that's my answer. So I'll have to do some further testing and get back to you guys because I had a lot going on that day, so I wasn't really paying a lot of attention to my fragrance unless it made me pay attention to it. Some fragrances have that power to remind you, hey, I'm here, nice little light whiff hit you. Never got that from this, and it had 2 opportunities this particular day, so it does smell incredible when I do smell it, though. So for the gym and out the shower, Paris Corners Just Bergamot. And finally on Saturday, one of the better blue fragrances that I wore this particular week. It smells in the vein of Bleu de Chanel Eau de Parfum. I do prefer it to Bleu de Chanel Eau de Parfum. No, I don't prefer it to Bleu de Chanel Parfum. Because I've had people ask. No, I don't think it smells as much like that one. That's kind of in a league of its own as far as blues. But as far as the EDT and the EDP, oh yeah. Loewe 7 Cobalt, I would take it 10 out of 10 times over Bleu de Chanel EDT or EDP. This is fantastic. Very woody dominant. Very, very woody dominant. Nice hit of the smoky tones. Beautiful citrus. Little hint of spice. Like I said, similar profile to Bleu de Chanel. More so EDP than EDT because it's got more of the woods and the incense versus the EDT. That's why I relate it to the Eau de Parfum more. I even get a little bit of aquatic nuance from this one that I don't get from any of the Bleu de Chanels. This has some potency to it. I believe there's a little bit of ambroxan in here. I don't remember if it's listed or not, but it smells like there is a bit. This is really freaking good. And you can get this, I think it's a 75 or a 50. I think it's a 75 ml. Let me look. That's a 50 ml. In the $70 to $80 range. You're going to pay that, if not more, for Bleu de Chanel. Actually, you're going to pay more than that for Bleu de Chanel EDP. I think this is a better fragrance. It's almost the same profile, and dare I say, slightly higher quality. Some of the oils, that kind of what and what, but it's more affordable, and I think it's a better fragrance. I think it's a deeper fragrance overall. So skip Bleu de Chanel EDP. Don't skip Bleu de Chanel Parfum. But skip Bleu de Chanel EDT and EDP and just get this. It's the better fragrance in my personal opinion. Obviously, try it before you buy it and be your own judge, but that's my stance on it. I think it's damn good. Wife thinks it's damn good. I mean, this is a blue fragrance household. We get down with the blues over here. So it was a pleasure to wear during the day. Loewe 7 Cobalt. And then when I got to the shower, no particular scent. It was time for a shave. I shaved last night. It was all fresh shaved, all that good stuff. So we went just with a classic aftershave. Didn't last long. Skin feels good when you slap it on, though. Went with some good old Skin Bracer by Mennen. Yep, some cheap-ass Skin Bracer. Sometimes the cheap classics are the way to go. Got to be careful with this, though. It looks like a restrictor, but it's not. It's a gaping hole. I just love the smell of this. This and Aqua Velva, they're just good. Old school as hell, but just good. The skin feel is great on here. It's minty, fresh, cooling when you splash it on and all that good stuff. Sure, I got plenty of fragrances that would pair well with this, of this profile. I got plenty that could have worked with it. Shout outs to Mr. Got Plenty, because I got plenty too. When it comes to stuff that would work with this, but I chose to just roll with it. No big deal, because actually, we had went to dinner, and I was wearing this prior. And if you haven't tried this yet, ho my, are you missing out? I will be doing a full review at some point on this one, I think. Rivals French Defense. Yeah, I said it. Some of you didn't see my live stream first impressions on this. Yeah, this is that good. Mind Games Mentor. It's way too expensive, though. But boy, does it deliver. But anyways, I was wearing that to dinner, and I had a good shave and all that prior, and we went with good old classic Skin Bracer. Well, that was this past week's rotation. I appreciate you guys for checking it out. Until next time, do me a real quick favor. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. I do appreciate all the feedback, and I love hearing from you guys. What'd you guys wear this week? Comment down below. I'd love to read your rotations as per usual. And yeah, that's all I got for this video. I appreciate you checking it out and hanging till the end for those of you that made it this far. And until next time, I will say if you get your hands on any of the stuff I wore this week and give them a spray now. Pretty confident you'll thank me later, especially if you like blues. Have a good one, guys.